Good morning, and welcome to your 70th meditation. It is impossible to live in a society without assuming certain roles. As much as we like to fetishize originality, we do not generally invent roles for ourselves. Rather, they tend to be largely pre-made, handed to us by a given situation, and we merely accept them or dodge them. Who we are in the world has everything to do with which roles we identify with. And once we adopt these roles, once we define our identity as such, the world has a way of obsessively reminding us that those are indeed our roles, that this is our identity. This is because society likes categories, and in order to keep everything organized and running smoothly, we're encouraged to hang our identity on one of the hooks provided for it, and to stick to that hook. Of course, there are examples of people who switch hooks and look for new ones, and we're vaguely aware that that is a possibility for ourselves. But in every conversation where we're asked about ourselves, in every doctor's appointment where we have to fill out a form that states our occupation, and really in any human-to-human interface at all, we must define ourselves in some way. And every time we do so, the world acts as a mirror that reinforces the image of ourselves that we project, projecting it back onto us, so we become more and more convinced of its reality and permanence every time. But what happens when that identity, when our ability to fulfill that role, is compromised? For example, what if all my life I've identified primarily as an athlete, but then I endure a career-ending injury and am no longer able to practice my sport? Or what if I chiefly identify as a husband, but then I lose my spouse? What happens is that life goes on. I continue being a person, absent the role that was once available to me. These are the critical moments that shatter the illusion that is our identity. But it is a necessary illusion, because whether we like it or not, we're forced to adopt new roles, new identities. It might be the identity of the embittered ex-athlete, or it could be that of the active advocate for injury prevention. It might be the pitiable widower, or the man who finally fulfilled that lifelong resolution to start taking piano lessons. As much as the roles we perform are handed to us by circumstance, we still do have a choice. The choice of how to respond to our circumstances. And the more we think of our identity as a response to ever-changing contexts, instead of as something fixed or permanent, the more nimble and present we will be, regarding each new moment with the attention and respect that is deserving of a new opportunity to redefine ourselves. Of course, we don't have to wait for a trauma like a career-ending injury or the loss of a loved one to begin to adopt a more adaptable and fluid approach to how we view our roles in the world. And if we start conceiving of our identity as subject to ongoing evolution, then we will be better equipped to deal with those traumas when they do happen. So the next time someone asks you what you do, give them a few answers. Talk about things you might like to do. And the next time you have to fill out a form that demands your occupation, take a minute to at least consider all of the roles you occupy in the current moment, and all of the roles that you have yet to realize, even if you only write one down. Keep it up. You're doing great. Have a wonderful day. This podcast was brought to you by Odium.